Tina, and today I want to show you how to make my Viking Knot pattern. This here, I made this lovely cushion in it in the Metropolis yarn from Shepherd's. You can use whatever yarn you like. All the yarn info official is in the pattern on Ravelry. The pattern is available there, both written and with the charts, which really is the best, isn't it? And in the round and worked flat. I worked this cushion in the round, so you don't have to do any sewing. But here in this video, I'm going to show you how to work it flat, because I'm kind of like hoping that you will make some blankets with these. But, you know, anyway, I'll show you a whole repeat of it and how to continue. And I also show you the tapestry crochet technique, which I don't really like tapestry crochet very much. It's kind of fiddly. But I will do it on special occasions like these, when I want that extra oomph in the color change. Like here, for example, when I am finishing one color of B and starting with another color of B here, and then I will do one whole row with 2 colors per that row instead of the one as is in the usual mosaic crochet technique. So I show you both the pattern, just step by step, row by row, and also this tapestry crochet technique. And I'll try and put a timestamp on that. I'm not sure if I know how, but I will do my best. If not, it's towards the end of the video. What more? Yeah, this one it's called the Viking Knot, and that's because it is a Viking knot. So it's sort of like this continuous pattern. You see how they're all interlacing the knots, and I really love the ideology of this. It sort of just reminds me of how everything is connected, and you know, you never can get to where you are without starting somewhere, and then, you know, it's sort of like a maze from there on, and that everything is connected. Some of you may know the Celtic knot, which is similar. It's a similar heritage that we have here, but I obviously loved going back to my roots here in Iceland, to the Viking heritage that we have. What I did do then was I took it and I made it a bit more abstract, and, you know, made it more of a bold design, because I wanted to be kind of modern looking, and I'm very happy with it. Hope you like it too. Like I said, the pattern is available on Ravelry. I'll leave the link for that here below in the description. What more? Yeah, I'm really happy. I've been doing very well lately. This is my 4th video now in like a month, and I actually reached 1 million views on one of my first videos, and I'm so happy. So thank you so much for watching and commenting and liking, and, you know, please do that here also. If you don't mind. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, because I'm trying to do like a steady schedule of always posting once a week, but it's just not happening. I'm way too pieces for that. So if you want, you know, click that subscribe and the bell button so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video, if you like. I think that's it. I'm going to show you how to work this step by step flat. And I hope you'll crochet along with me, you guys. Okay, let's do this. Woo! Woo! That was a Viking stuff. Yeah, okay. Ciao. Let's do it. So we're going to get started. Just before we start, so I'm going to show you how to work the pattern flat. And so this is the Viking knot. And here I made it as a cushion. So I worked it in the round. And the pattern comes with both written instructions and the chart, and written instructions on how to work it in the round, exactly how to make this cushion. But you can make it any size. You can make it into a purse. You can make it into a smaller or bigger size cushion in the round. And do check out my tutorial, the Beginner's Guide to Mosaic, lesson number 4. There I show you how to work in the round. I'm going to show you here how we work it flat, just to show you the repeat. But if you want to make this cushion exactly, then I was using Metropolis from Shepherd's. And so I used 4 colors. I used this gray here for my main color, and that is the dark gray. It's number 69. And then I used pattern color 3 colors, the sort of light brown, this one here, which is called Dhaka, I think. Well, one of them is Dhaka and one of them is Seoul. And then the light gray here as well. So I used 3 for the main color, no, for the pattern color. All the, you know, color numbers, exact yarn info, etc. is in the link on Ravelry for the pattern, and I'll leave that in the description here below. But if you want to make this cushion, then you will need 2 of this color, 2 of this color, 1 of the gray, and then 4 of the main color. If you're just going to make it 2 colors, then you just need 4 of each color, A and B. Okay, so this one here, you chain up 240 stitches to do this one, and then you just work the exact repeat, okay? And just to show you here, here's the joint, so it's worked in the round, and then I just close it up on both ends. Okay, so this is all explained in the pattern, and I also explained how to work in the round in lesson 4. So do check that one out. What we're gonna do here today is I'm just gonna show you one repeat. So this is one repeat. This is a continuous pattern, so you can make it any size you want, and you know, any project. And I've seen a couple of blankets actually in this, and they're really, really pretty. So that's why I also want to show you how to work it flat as well, and just show you one repeat to do so. So we're going to start here with the chaining up, and row 1. I'm going to see if I can get my yarn out here neatly. Yes, this was a happy coincidence. Oh yeah, and I'm using a 2.5 millimeter hook. But like I said, you can use any yarn you like. And if you're making a blanket, I would definitely, you know, make it in a something that is a bit heavier weight. You know, you can go up to iron, for example, and then you just use a hook that suits your yarn. So what we're gonna do when we chain up for the flat project is that the repetition in the Viking knot is 24 stitches. So we just do a slip knot, and then you chain up a multiplication of 24. I'm going to do just one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So if, for example, you want to make a blanket, then you would chain up just a multiplication of 24, okay? What I do when I'm deciding the size of a blanket, I just chain up, you know, approximately how wide I want the blanket to be. And then I make sure that it has, that it's a multiplication of the pattern repeat, which is here 24. And then after you add all your foundation rounds, so for example, you could do 10 repeats, that would be 240 stitches instead of 24. And then after you have your multiplication of 24, then you add 3 more stitches, 3 extra stitches, multiplication of 24 plus 3, okay? So I did 24, and I'm going to do 1 and 2 and 3 extra, okay? So I have here 27, but you do however many you want to do, repeats, and then add 3 to that, okay? So now we did the chain up, and row number 1 is just 1 single crochet into each and every stitch. But so we don't work into the first stitch here because we can't really go into this one. So this one is extra here. So I'm just gonna find my stitch number 2. This is 1 and 2. This is very fine yarn, and work 1 single crochet into the second loop from the second stitch from the hook, and then 1 single crochet into each and every stitch in this first round. Okay. So your final stitch tally should be a repetition of 24 plus 2, and those 2 extra are just for the beginning, the border stitch at the beginning of the round, and the border stitch at the end of the round. So we did the plus 3 because we needed that 1 extra that we skipped at the beginning, yeah. So final stitch tally for me here will be 26. If you're doing a blanket that's 240 stitches, for example, then your final stitch count would be 242 after this round 1. Okay, I hope I'm making this all clear because I keep getting questions about how many stitches, etc. It depends on your project, how wide you want it to be. You can make it any size you want. And like I said, the best way really is just to chain up approximately to the width that you want your project to be, and then make sure that the stitch count matches the multiplication, which in this case here for the Viking knot is 24 stitches, and then 2 extra after you've done this first round. Okay, so chain up, multiplication of 24 plus 3, and then you skip the first stitch. Okay, I hope this was very clear. Should I say it once more? And once you've worked 1 single crochet into each and every stitch, and you just cut the yarn, always leave a bit of a tail. You can do in the end the double border to close off the ends, or you can leave extra tails and do the twisted fringe. So you decide on that before cutting. And then you pull your yarn through once, like so. Okay, so this was round 1. Just 1 single crochet into each and every stitch. And now I have here 26 stitches. Okay. Okay, on to row 2. And we're going to work this round as well with the foundation color, with the main color A, which is gray here, dark gray. And now we do the border stitch at the beginning of the round. And that is the only stitch, the border stitches are the only ones where we're working under both loops of our stitch. So you insert your hook into the first loop here from the right, from the left if you're left-handed, under both loops, and just leave a bit of a tail, maybe 10 centimeters max. Pull your yarn up like so, chain 1, and do 1 single crochet into both loops of this first stitch as well. So this is the border stitch at the beginning of the round, and we always do this the same. This is always the same. And now we're going to do 24 stitches, which is the repeat. I'm just going to show you 1 repeat always, and it's just 1 single crochet into the back loop of each and every stitch. So that's not much of a repeat actually. But so yeah, we're just doing single crochets. We haven't really started the mosaic pattern yet. So in this row 2, we're just working again with color A, 1 single crochet into the back loop. Oh no, split my yarn there. Don't want that. 1 single crochet into the back loop of each and every stitch. And I know it's a bit of a pain to use this very fine weight yarn. It's really lovely to work with, the Metropolis. But the thing is that I really like that for the cushion, because it's sort of like a bold pattern. So it looks really nice in this fine weight yarn. But you can use any kind of yarn you like. So I haven't counted, but I know I have 24 stitches plus the 2 border stitches. So this here would be, I have 3 stitches left, so this would be 23 and 24. Okay, just 1 stitch into the back loop of each and every stitch, and just 1 single crochet, and then we do the border stitch at the end of the round, and that's always the same, just like the border stitch at the beginning of the round. They're always the same. So at the end of the round we do 1 single crochet under both loops of the last stitch of the round, like so, and then we just cut the yarn, leaving like a 5 to 10 centimeter long tail. That's 2 to 4 inches, and then we pull our yarn through once, like so, and we're always going to tighten it, and we're gonna end each and every row the same way. So the border stitch at the end of the round is like this, like I showed you here, and always the same at the beginning. We start each round the same way, and we finish each round the same way. Okay, so that was row 2, sorry. On to row 3, and now we're going to introduce our pattern color B. I'm using this brown here, just the same as I used for my cushion. And this row is actually just the same. It's just 1 single crochet into each. So we start with the border stitch going under both loops of the first stitch of the round into the border stitch. And we pull the yarn up, chain 1, and do 1 single crochet under both loops. Okay? Like so. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into the back loop of each and every stitch of this row, which in my case are 24 stitches. If you're doing a 10 repeats blanket, for example, that would be 204. That tutorial would take a bit longer. And always into the back loop, like always in mosaic crochet. These single crochets go into the back loop because we want to leave the front loop open for our DCs, which are coming up in the next round. Okay, that's 22, 23, 23 and 24. And then we do the border stitch at the end of the round, which is always the same. One single crochet under both loops of the last single crochet stitch of the round. We do not work into the chain here at the end. So one single crochet here, cut the yarn, do a bit of a tail, and do one chain here and pull it all the way up. Whoopa. Okay, so this is row 2. All just single crochet stitches. And don't worry if it sort of starts to do this. It's because we're always working in the same direction, but this will even out later on once we have a bigger piece in our hand and also in blocking. So I'm going to put my... This was row 3. Okay, row 4, and now we're going to use color A again, and always for our even number rows are color A, which is dark gray here, and for all the odd number rows is color B. And now we start the mosaic pattern, and we start the row as always by doing the border stitch at the beginning of the row. And now the repeat is 7 double crochets, 3 singles and 14 doubles. Okay, so when we do our double crochets, we're going to go down here, right? So we yarn over and go down one row and work our double crochets down there. If you haven't done mosaic crochet before, do check out my beginner's guide lessons. I have up to 5 there now. And there I show this all in great detail and very slow. Whoop, split the yarn here. Whoop. Okay, how many was I going to do? 7. I've done 3. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, that's 7 double crochets, and now we're going to do 3 singles, 2 and 3, and 14 double crochets. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Oops. And then if you have more repeats now, for example, then you will go again at the beginning of the repeats and do 7, 3, 14. So here it would be 14 plus
7, which is what, 21. So it's always 21 DCs between the 3 single crochets, yeah? But I'm just doing 1 repeat, so I finished here with my 14, and then we do the border stitch at the end of the round, just 1 single crochet there. Cut the yarn, chain 1, and pull it all the way through. And there's one thing that I wanted to show you here now, because now we're doing a lot of DCs in a row. So what will happen on the back side is that you will have this sort of ridge here. So don't worry, that is completely normal. And if you're doing it like, well, if you're doing the the cushion in the round, then this will just be on the back side inside the cushion, so you won't see it. But these actually, oh, they look kind of funny now at the beginning. You're like, oh, this can't be. But what I do like about these is that once you do the whole pattern, then it just sort of gives an illusion type pattern on the back side. So it will look great once you finished, although it's strange when you're starting to see this ridge here, but it's the way it's supposed to be. So that was the repeat for row 4? 7 DCs, 3 single crochets, and 14 DCs. 14 DCs. On to row 5. Not sure you can see that well enough. The rows, have to write it with another color. And now that's a odd number row, so we're going to use color B, the pattern color. And now this row is actually just the opposite of last row. So we start with the border stitch, and now we work 7 single crochets into all the DCs from last row. Oh, I always get this mixed up, the row and round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Up. And now we do 3 double crochets. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you see we're starting here. And then it's 14 single crochets. So where we did the double crochets in the row before, we do singles, and vice versa. Okay, and again, I'm just doing 1 repeat. If you have more repeats, then you do here, this is the 14th, and then you would go again and do 7, 3, 14, 7, 3, 14. So there will be 21 single crochets in a row there if you're doing more repeats. And then we just do the border stitch at the end of the row and cut the yarn and pull it through like so. Okay, so this is row 5, all done. And as you can see, we're starting with these here. These bits are coming now, the beginning of the knot. That was row 6. On to row 6. And now we're using our pattern color B again. And no, pattern color, no. We're using color A. We're using the main color. And we do the border stitch as always at the beginning of the row, under both loops of our stitch. 1 chain and 1 single crochet. And now we're going to do 1 DC. That one goes down here. And then 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1 DC. single crochets. 1, 2. No, I'm sorry. 3 single crochets. Okay, I'm going to do it again here. There's 1 DC, 5 single crochets, 1 DC, 3 single crochets, 1 DC, and now there'll come 11. Sorry about that. Okay. 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then we finish the repeat with 2 double crochets. And remember that we began the repeat with 1 double crochet, so if you're doing more repeats, then you would add another here and you would have 3 in a row. Okay, and then we do the border stitch at the end of the round, and chain 1 and pull it all the way up. Okay, so the repeat here for row 6 is 1 double crochet, 5 singles, 1 double, 3 singles, 1 double, 11 singles, and 2 doubles. Okay, it's starting to take shape. That was row 6. On to row 7, and now we're using the pattern color beam, and we start with the border stitch at the beginning of the round. And now we're going to do 1 single crochet, 5 doubles, 1, whoop, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 1 single crochet and 3 doubles. So these 3 doubles go into the double from the second to last row. Okay, and then we're going to do 1 single and 11 doubles. Seven, 8, 9, 10, and whoop, no. 10 and 11, and then we're going to do 2 singles and the border stitch. So that was 1 repeat for row 7. Just going to repeat it here now. Okay, so we did 1 single, 5 doubles, 1 single, 3 doubles, 1 single, 11 doubles, and then 2 single crochet at the ends. And if you have more repeats, then you do this same repeats just over and over. So this was row 7. Okay, on to row 8. That's an even number, so we're using our main color. And we do the border stitch as always. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet here down, 5 single crochets, 4 and 5, and then there is 1 double crochet and 3 single crochets, one double, and 11 single crochets all over the double crochets from last row. And finish it with 2 double crochets here. Then I'm going to do my border stitch. If you have more repeats, then you do more repeats, obviously. And let's go over the repeat for row 8 once more. So you start with 1 double crochet, 5 singles, 1 double, 3 singles, 1 double, 11 singles, and then 2 double crochets here at the end. Okay, that was row 8. On to row 9, and that's color B, and we start as always with the border stitch at the beginning of the row. And now we're going to do 1 single crochet, 3 double crochets, 3 single, no, oops, I went into the wrong stitch. I was just like, this can't be. See, I went into this one. I was supposed to go into this one. The third goes here. Okay. And now I'm going to do 3 single crochets. 1 and 2 and 3. And 3 doubles. Okay, and next up are 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now we do 3 double crochets. 2 and 3, and then to finish the repeat we do 2 single crochets. Okay, and then the border stitch. Break the yarn and pull your yarn through. Whoop. Okay, so this is the repeat for row 9. We did 1 single, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 9 singles, 3 doubles, and 2 singles. Okay. So there you go. It's starting to look like what we're doing. Okay, that was row 9. On to row 10. And that's color A again. And now we're going to do the border stitch. Just get splitting there. Okay. The border stitch. And then 1 DC. 3 single crochets. 3 doubles. 3 singles. Okay, 1 DC, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, and again 3 singles and 3 doubles. Looks like this one is all just 3 and 3, yeah? Well, that's the magic number. Okay, that was 3 doubles, and then we do 3 singles and finish the repeat with 2 doubles. But remember, we started the repeat with 1 double, so that would be 3 doubles in a row here as well when you're doing more repeats. And then I do my border stitch, break the yarn and pull the yarn through. Okay, so this is row 10. That was 1 double, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, and 2 doubles in the end, which will then be 3 in a row when you add this one here in the beginning when you're doing more repeats. Okay, that was row 10. On to row 11, and that's with color B again. We start with the border stitch at the beginning of the row, and we do 1 single, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, and then we finish the repeat with 8 single crochets. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we do the border stitch. Break the yarn and pull it through. Whoopa! Okay, so here's the repeat for row 11. We started with 1 single, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, and then 8 single crochets. And then if you want to do more repeats, then you just go again, okay? So that was row 11. On to row 12. And we're gonna start here with the border stitch at the beginning of the row. And then we do 1 DC, 3 single crochets, and 1 double crochet here. Oops. And then we're going to do 5 singles, and then after the 5 singles we do 3 double crochets, and then 11 single crochets. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then the border stitch. Okay, so that was the repeat for row 12. Let's go over that again. So it's 1 double, 3 singles, 1 double, 5 singles, 3 doubles, and then 11 single crochets. Okay, that was row 12. On to row 13. And now we're working with color B, as always, in odd number rows. Do the border stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet, 3 doubles, 1 single, and 5 doubles, four and 5, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets and finish the repeat with 11 double crochets. Yeah. Okay, that's 10 and 11. That was the repeat, and then we just do the border stitch, break the yarn, and pull through. Okay, so let's go over the repeats for row 13. It was 1 single crochet, 3 doubles, 1 single, 5 doubles, 3 single, and 11 doubles. Okay, as you can see, we're getting closer to. Okay, that was row 13. On to row 14, and that's color A, and we do our border stitch, up, and then there is 1 double crochet, 3 singles, 1 double, 5 singles, 4 and 5, and then we do 3 double crochets, and 11 single crochets. And 11, that was the repeat, and then there's the border stitch. Break the yarn and pull it through. Okay, so this was the repeat for row 14. It was 1 double crochet, 3 singles, 1 double, 5 singles, 3 doubles, and 11 singles. Okay, and now we're actually halfway there with the length, because the pattern repeat is, well, we're more than halfway there actually, because yeah, it's up to 28. Yeah, but yeah, so that was row 14. On to row 15, and that's color B. And we start with the border stitch as always. And then we're going to do, well, let me finish that one. Border stitch, and then there's 1 single crochet, 3 double crochets, 3, and then it's just all singles. It's 20 singles in a row now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So this was an easy one, almost all single crochets. And then I'm going to do my border stitch. And so the repeat for row 15 is 1 single crochet, 3 doubles, and then 20 singles in a row. And then you repeat that as many times as you want. So it's always, and then you add the 1 here in the beginning. So it's 21 single crochets in a row when you're doing a repeat. Okay, but that was the repeat for row 15. And as you can see, it wants to sort of double up here. Don't worry about it, that will all be fixed in blocking. On to row 16. And we start with the border stitch. And now we do 3 single crochets. No, I'm sorry. We start with the border stitch and then we do 1 double and then 3 singles. 1 double and 3 singles. And now we're going to do 15 double crochets in a row. So it's 10 more. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. 14 and 15. Okay, it's 15 in a row, and then we do 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 2 double. To finish the repeat. And then there's the border stitch. Okay. And pull the yarn through. Okay, so the repeat for row 16 is 1 double, 3 singles, 15 double crochets in a row. That is, you see these here, 15 in a row here. And then there's 3 singles and 2 doubles. Okay, it's taking shape. Okay, so that was the repeat for row 15. No, 16, sorry, 16. I was thinking about the 15 DCs. Row 16. On to row 17. And as always, we start with the border stitch at the beginning of the row. And now we are going to do 19 single crochets in a row. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 19, and then we're up to these here, and now we're going to do 3 double crochets, and then we finish the repeat with 2 singles. Okay, and there's the border stitch. So let's go over the repeat for row 17. That was 19 single crochets all in a row, and then just 3 doubles and 2 singles here. So if you're doing another repeat, then the 19 plus 2 will be 21 single crochets always between these 3 here. If you're doing more of the repeats, well, I suspect that you will be doing more repeats than one. So that was row 17. On to row 18, and that's the color A again, the main color. And we do our border stitch at the beginning of the row. And then we're going to do 10 single crochets. Nine and 10, and then it's 3 double crochets, and then 5 singles, one double, 3 singles, oops, one double, and 1 single. So that was the repeat, and let's review that. So we did the border stitch, and then the repeat here is 10 single crochets, 3 doubles, 5 singles, 1 double, 3 singles, 1 double, and 1 single. So what is happening here actually is when you, where are we at in the pattern here? So yeah, we're here. Let's say that we're here. So this one here will be the first one of these here, you see? So because we started the repeat with 3 single crochets and finished it with 1, that when we continue, oops, let's put it here on the right spot. When we continue here, then this one would be the first here of 11 in a row of single crochets. Yeah? It's kind of neat having the cushion here to show. So it's this one here, 11 in a row there when you do more repeats. But that was the repeat for row 18, and now we're seeing the knot sort of emerging. Lovely. On to row 19. That's color B again. And now we are going to do the border stitch, and then the repeat for row 19 is 10 double crochets, halfway there, Nine and 10, and then it's 3 singles and 5 doubles. That's 5, and then there's 1 single, whoops, 1 single here, and 3 doubles. And 1 single and 1 double. So this 1 double here at the end sort of seems lonely, but do remember that when you make more repeats, then that one goes straight up in a row with the other 10 at the beginning of the row. You see here, where are we at? If we go like this, yeah. So we're doing this one here, yeah. So this is like the one that we did at the end. Oops, I'm not in picture. So the one here at the end is really the first of 11 here in a row when you do a repeat, yeah. But let's review the repeat for row 19. That was 10 single crochets, 10 doubles, 3 singles, 5 doubles, 1 single, 3 doubles, and 1 single and 1 double. So that was row 19. On to row 20. And now we're going to use color A again, the dark gray here. And we start with the border stitch. And then we're going to do 10 single crochets. It's just 1 single crochet into all the double crochets from last row. Nine and 10, 3 doubles, one, two, three, and then 5 single crochets over our 5 double crochets from last row. One double, 3 singles. Oops, split it there. I don't want that. 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and then there is 1 double, 1 single. And I'm going to do my border stitch, and we will review our repeat for row 20. Opa, opa. Okay, so we did 10 single crochets here in the beginning, and then the 3 doubles, 5 single crochets here, 1 double, 3 singles, 1 double, and 1 single. Okay, so that was row 20, and we're starting to see the knot. Okay, on to row 21, and we're using color B, the pattern color. We start with the border stitch as always. And now we're going to do 7 single crochets. 6 and 7, and then we do 3 doubles. And 3 singles. 3 double crochets. And 3 singles. And 3 doubles. And then we finish with 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to do my border stitch. And you do all your repeats that you need. So let's review the repeat for row 21. It started here with 7 single crochets, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, and 2 singles. And as you can see, if you look at the pattern, so if you're ever in any doubt with where anything's going, you see they always line up. You know, they're all supposed to make, you know, these line up with these here, and these here line up with these here. So it's always, and these here 3 line up with the 3 here, because it's that's how the pattern works. It's a continuous pattern that it's always lining up, which is sort of the beauty of it. The continuous Viking knot. Okay, so that was row 21. On to row 22, and that's color A again, the main color. And I'm going to do my border stitch here at the beginning of the row. And then we go to the repeat for row 22. That's 1 double crochet, 3 singles, 3 double crochets. You see these 3 here should land before we get to the double crochets from last row, like so. And now we do 3 singles and 3 doubles. This is another 3 round row. Okay, 3 double here into the double crochet. Always doubling down with the double crochets, going 1 row down. And then there's 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 singles, and then you finish the repeat with 3 double crochets. But since we started with 1, then that will be in total 3 here again in a row when you're doing your repeats. Okay, and then there's the border stitch. And let's check out and see how the repeat looks for row 22. Oops, just gonna get my yarn up here. Whoopa. Okay, so we started with 1 double crochet, and then we have 2 at the end, so that's total 3 together there. So it's 1 double crochet, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, and 2 doubles, which add up to this one here, making 3. So it's all 3s in this row 22. All done. On to row 23. And now we're using color B again. And we do our border stitch at the beginning of the row. And then we are going to work 1 single crochet and 3 doubles. And now we do 9 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, then we do 3 double crochets. Okay, and 3 singles. And 3 doubles. And then we finish with 2 single crochets. And I'm going to do my border stitch here. Okay, let's see how the repeat looks for row 23. So we started here with 1 single crochet, and then we did 3 doubles, and then we did 9 single crochets in a row, 3 doubles, 3 singles, 3 doubles, and 2 singles, which add up to the 1 here in the beginning when you're doing more repeats, so it will be a 3 there in a row. Okay, so that's row 23. On to row 24. Let's color A again. And we start with the border stitch at the beginning of the row. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet. And 11 single crochets. Nine, 10, and 11. And then there's 1 DC here before we get to the 3 Ds from last row. And then 3 single crochets into those 3. 1 double crochet and 5 singles. 4 and 5, and then we finish the repeat with 2 double crochets. And then you end the row with the border stitch at the end of the row. Cut the yarn or break it like I'm doing, and whoop-ah. Okay, so that was row 24. Let's review it. We started with 1 double crochet, and then we did 11 single crochets here in a row, and then 1 double crochet here just before we get to these 3. 3 single crochets, 1 double, 5 singles, and 2 doubles. Okay, so that was row 24. On to row 25. Let's color B again. We do our border stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet and 11 double crochet stitches here in a row into over all the single crochets from last row. Okay, 10, no, 9, 10, 12, 46, 10, and 11. And then we're going to do 1 single and 3 doubles. Oops, got a hair of mine there. Okay, 3 doubles, and then there is 1 single and 5 double crochets. Five, so, and then we end the repeat with 2 single crochets. Okay, and then I finish the round with a border stitch here. So I'm just doing 1 repeat, and let's go over our repeat for row 25. So we started with 1 single crochet, and then we did 11 double crochets in a row, 1 single, 3 doubles, 1 single, 5 doubles, and then 2 singles at the end. And as you can see, we almost have a complete Viking knot, 1 knots here. To row 26, and that's an even number, so we're using our pattern, our main color. And I do the border stitch here at the beginning of the row, and then 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to do 11 single crochets in a row here over all our DCs from last row. Seven, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then we do 1 double crochet. Whoops, back into that one. 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and then 5 singles, 3, 4, and 5, and finish the repeat with 2 double crochets. And then 1 the border stitch here and cut. And let's see how the repeat for row 26 looks like. It was 1 double here in the beginning, and then we did 11 single crochets in a row, 1 double, 3 singles, 1 double, 5 singles, and 2 doubles. Okay, that's our Viking knot almost ready there. That was row 26. Okay, so now we're up to row 27, and that's where some fun kicks in, because now I'm going to show you how to use tapestry crochet mixed up with mosaic crochet. Because what happened here, if you can't do this pattern, I'm gonna go here up. You can't do this pattern only in two colors, just 1 color for the main color, and then 1 color for all the pattern colors. Yeah, but I chose to always, because as you can see, the pattern is this continuous Viking knot. So here is 1 knot, whoopa, and it goes together with this one, and they're all interlaced, sort of. Yeah. So what I wanted to do was to make, well, I always want to use more colors. So now we're up to row 27 here, and there you can see that I'm introducing my new color here for the next knot that is coming up. But I'm also finishing this one here. This here. So here we have, there's this 1 row here where we have 2 colors at the same time, and that's where tapestry crochet comes in. I am not a big fan of tapestry crochet. I think it's quite tedious, but I will use it on special occasions like these, when it's something that I really want to get like an umph effect, and you know, you obviously want to keep these 2 colors here separate. You can see it better maybe with the yellow and the gray. That this is the row that we're going to do here. So we're going to start these gray here, but we're also finishing this yellow. So I'm going to do this row in 2 colors to show you, and mixing it then up. That's mosaic crochet mixed up with tapestry crochet. Okay. So that's the round that's coming up. Tapestry crochet and mosaic crochet mixed up. Okay, so we're up to row 27, and you can just continue with 2 colors if you like, but I want to show you how to change colors here using the tapestry crochet technique mixed up with mosaic to change colors of your color B in this pattern. And it's just this 1 row that we need to be using both colors at a time. So we will continue to use our color be the brown one here, and we're going to use some of the yellow as well, which is coming up next. So what I am going to do is I'm going to just start to make my border stitch with color B, the normal one, and I make one chain here. And what happens in tapestry crochet is that you're just carrying the yarn. That's actually why I don't like it. But like I said, it can be really good to know for sort of extra special something that you're doing. So now I'm going to introduce our new color here, new color B, and I'm just going to leave a tail as well and lay it like so. And I'm going to work my border stitch around the new color, you see? Okay, so I'm just laying it here behind my work, and I just did the chain, and I'm going to do the border stitch, the single crochet of the border stitch around. Just pop your new color here up on your hook and work the first stitch, this border stitch around the new color. And so now we have 2 tails here for this row. And now we're going to do 7 single crochets using the old color. And when we're doing this, then we're just always working over our tail with the other color, okay, to hide it. So it's like working over tails, but you're just carrying it to use it at some points in the row. So we're going to do 7 single crochets, always working around our new color as we go. You see, it's very easy. So just lay it up on top of your stitches that you're working like this, and work around it as you go. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're going to do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the 7th stitch, the last stitch, and this is, we're just going to be talking about the whole time what I don't like about tapestry crochet. In the 7th stitch, it's not, because the thing is, it's not like in knitting. In knitting, when you knit with 2 colors, it's just easy peasy, and you, you just pick up your new stitch, you know, it's not a problem. Sorry, my computer went off. I was talking too much. So, but in tapestry crochet, then you have to switch colors in the middle of the last stitch of your last color. Okay, so here goes. This horrible technique. So now I'm going to do the 7th stitch. So I start to work my single crochet just like normally, and I have my old color here. And you go into the stitch that you're working, and you're going to be working over your new tail, and you pull your yarn up like so. Okay, and then you're going to drop your old yarn and finish the stitch with the new color. Okay, I see now that I should definitely have made this with more contrasting colors, but you know, I have now finished the stitch with the yellow instead of the light brown. And now I'm going to work 3 single crochets in the new color B, okay? And then I just do the same. I just take the tail, the other color, and lay it here on top of my stitches, like so, and work around it so that I'm carrying it along. So I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to do 2, and then I'm going to do the 3rd one, and then I have to switch mid-stitch. I mean, it's just awful. So I go and I start my stitch, and I pull up the new color, the yellow here, and then I'm going to drop the yellow, and I'm going to finish the stitch with the new color. You see? I mean, it's simple enough. It's just tedious. Okay, what's next? Then it's 3 single crochets and 2 and 3, and now we get to, well, it's not really a tricky bit, but you have to change up your technique a bit when you're working over your tail here, when you're doing a double crochet. So I'm going to do a double crochet, and I'm carrying the yellow as well. So I yarn over, and I go up here and go into the stitch, and then again, just let your thread always go up on your hook. When you're working over a tail, you always just have it up on your hook. So I'm going to work again over my tail here. That's 1, and whoop up, 2, always just putting it over your hook before finishing your stitch. 2 and 3, and pop it here up and over. It's easier when you're doing the single crochets really, then you just lay them on top of the loop of the stitches, but now you have to really take care to put it here up over your hook. Okay, and the third double crochet like that. And now we're going to do 8 single crochets. Okay, so that's easy enough when you're doing the single crochets, then you're just working over it like a normal tail. But you see it pops up here a bit, so I'm going to tuck at it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and then I'm going to work my border stitch over it as well, like so, and cut both colors at the end of the row, obviously, and then just take the color that I was using, my old color here, and do it like this. Whoopa. Okay. It went a bit wobbly here because I was so much thinking about. So here you see what has happened. I have used 2 colors, very similar colors. Great job, Tina. Really just excellent tutorial work. But you can see here, it's different color. This is the light brown, and here I used the new color B, the yellow, for this one. And that's all there is to it, really. And it was just this one row that you have to make it, have to use this technique. And then in the next color B row, you will just use your new color. Okay, so that was the tapestry trick. And I will only use this on very special occasions like this, just like 1 or 2 rows, max 3, because I honestly think it's horribly tedious. Just ghastly. It's one of my new favorite words in English. My friend Sue taught me. Ghastly. No, very boring, but really quite worth it when you want to get your special effect like this here. I mean, we wouldn't want to have this here, these stitches here in yellow in the root of them. I mean, you want to do, when it's worth it, it's worth it. So that was row 27 and the tapestry crochet trick mixed up with mosaic crochet. It is very, very, you can see it so well, the yellow. Okay, I sort of changed my mind. I'm going to do row 5 again with you guys, just to show you how it all fits perfectly. And now we're using our new color B, the yellow, just to see how that looks. And so we start, this is exactly the same as row 5 that we did earlier, just to show you how it's continuance and how it works all. So now we do the border stitch at the beginning of the row, and we do 7 single crochets. Six and 7, and then we do 3 double crochets, and now we're doing our double crochets into the same color as we're using here, which is way nicer. It wouldn't be very nice if these here, the beginning of this here, were in a different color. That's why we did the tapestry crochet. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets, and now we do 14 single crochets. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. And then the border stitch. So this is exactly the same as row 5 that we did before. You just start again at that bit at row 5. Okay, it was 7 single crochets, 3 DCs and 14 single crochets. And now you just continue as before and do your repeats from 5, this was row 5, to 28, as many times as you want. And then when you're going to stop, then come back to me and I'm going to show you how to do, when you're doing your last repeat to finish the blanket off, then you don't do row 28, but do what I'm going to show you next. Okay. Row 5 again. Okay, so I did another repeat. So to make more repeats on the length, then you repeat rows 5 to 28. So as you can see, we did the repeat on the width is 24 stitches and the repeat on the length is 24 rows. So, you know, and it's a boxy design. Isn't it nice? Don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll do like a small yarn bomb or something. But yeah, so I did with you up to row 28, and then I did row 5 again here to start the yellow, and then I continued and worked rows 6 to 27, because the repeat is rows 5 to 28, but when we're going to finish off the pattern, then you skip row 28 and we go straight to what in the pattern is called row 124 to close off the pattern. Okay, and it's just called 124 because that's because it's based on the cushion. It has the cushion has 125 rows in complete. So I'm gonna do with you now row 124 and then 25 to show you how to close off the pattern, the design. Okay, so we start here and we're working now. These last 2 rows are in color A. Oh yeah, and I trimmed my ends. Doesn't it look nice now? I would probably not trim them quite so close if I was doing the double border, maybe a little bit longer, but this will not be used for anything, so. Okay, so row 124. We start with the border stitch at the beginning of the row, and then we're going to do 13 DCs in a row. Whoop. This is, again, thrilling TV. But what is thrilling is that if you are at this point with me doing a project and you are on row 124, this means that you're finishing off your project. Oh, it's so much fun to finish always. Even though it's just like a little sort of useless swatch like I'm making here with you now. I'll find some use for it. But it's always fun to finish, isn't it? And I love the finishing touches, and I really relish in, like, you know, giving it a meticulously good finish. Okay, a lot of talking. Let's see, what did I say? 13 DCs. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. And then we do 3 single crochets. And then 8 double crochets. Okay. Seven and 8, and that was the repeat. And then I'm just going to do my border stitch at the end of the row, cut the yarn, pull it straight through, and that was row 124, or the second to last row in our project. Okay, and let's review the repeat. It was the border stitch, obviously, and then the repeat is 13 double crochets, 3 singles, and 8 double crochets. You see, I'm closing up, and now I have totally closed it up. But then row 125, is all just single crochets. So we're going to just go straight there. So that's just to get the same, because we started here with a single crochet row in the beginning. So we just want to finish it off exactly the same, so it's mirroring. So for row 125, which is the final row of the pattern, it's just the border stitch as always into both loops, and then it's one single crochet into the back stitch of each and every, into the back loop, sorry, of each and every row. To the back stitch of, into the back loop of each and every stitch. Oh my God, this is not so complicated, Tina. Jesus. Jesus. And this way we are mirroring exactly the beginning of our piece. Okay, almost there. It's a bit noisy here. My neighbor is mowing the lawn. Okay, just a couple of more. It's 24 single crochets here, and then I do my border stitch and cut the yarn and pull it through. And since I already trimmed all my other ends, I feel the need to trim these as well here. Okay, and voila, we're finished. It is kind of cute. Put this up on a pole or something to be like a small yarn bomb. But yeah, so here you go. We have 2 repeats here on the length and 1 on the width. And you can work this flat like this. I mean, it would be a beautiful blanket, actually. I've seen a couple of Viking Knot blankets, and I really love seeing those. They're really pretty. I wish I had, I mean, my favorite makes are blankets. And if I had the time, I would just make blankets out of everything. My sister keeps giving me grief. She's like, if you want to get your patterns out, you have to make small projects, Tina. And I'm like, yes, but I just really want to make a blanket. And like the mountain of blankets that is here is insane. Maybe I should do a video and show you all my blankets. It's like, Okay, but that's it. And as you can see, this looks exactly the same as this one. Oh, this is kind of fun. And then you just do as many repeats as you want. If you want to do it in the round, then do check out my Beginner's Guide to Mosaic Crochet. It's in lesson number 4 that I show you how to work in the round. And of course, the pattern comes with a chart and written instruction on both how to do it in the round and flat like this. And yeah, I just hope you give it a go, you guys. And as always, please, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. I love seeing your comments. Always try to get back to every one of you. And even if I don't, I do read them through, and they do pick me up. So that's it for today. Viking Knot. Here we come. Whoopa!